we're living in the most confusing time, and social media has definitely made it that way. Um, you know, just the way with everything has changed with being content creators and, incorporating it with certain things that's going on in society, or even incorporating it with your life. It's caused a lot of confusion in many different ways. I could break down many different ways in terms of affecting whether, reputation. If you're on the internet, and even if you're trying to get a job, it may sound silly, but it's for real. Just certain things, politics, relationships. It can affect relationships for silly reasons you didn't think it would. And there's many different reasons I'm making this video, because you see certain things and you're like, well, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, okay, what's being said may be true, and like I said before, it's a choice to be up here, you know what I'm saying? But you see, why is that being said? And then little things like when it was said, when the the account was made that said it, and you were like, so this has nothing to do with really what's being said. People are just upset that you're like just expressing yourself on the internet. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be eating French fries and people are upset. This is where I'm coming from. And not just that, you know what I'm saying? It depends on a lot of different things, But when it comes to things like affecting, jobs, and affecting relationships, and just for foolishness that you didn't think it was that reason, we're just living in really confusing times, because you're trying to understand, well, why? And I think this all just goes back to make sure the number one thing I'd say to get from this, even though I never really knew what I wanted to say in this video, is always take care of situations, always take care of problems with this situation or this person in real life before, unless you're doing it unless the starting point is the internet. But take care of it in real life instead of just, because we're just living in confusing times, right now as we speak. Even with the content creating thing, it gets tricky, piggybacking off other content creators and making content off them and getting views from them, and just finding anything you can to try to dog someone, finding anything you can to try to put someone down, making claims that aren't true, that are ridiculous, claiming you did something before someone, and this person had a channel like years before. So just weird things you notice, that makes you just really not question, but just acknowledge, like, yeah, this is confusing. We're living in confusing times right now. Why are people going out of their way to make like troll accounts, to speak about someone else, and that's what you're doing? I don't know, because you're not. And what do I mean by that? Yeah, people are always going to say things, but like you're speaking about something you don't even care about. You're on someone's, like, what your response is nothing but pointing out the negative things in someone. So that goes to show how much you're watching them, and then you don't even like what they're watching. So that just goes to show where you're at. And then you don't, you're not someone who's making content. I mean, not that you have to, you didn't go out of your way, but it's like, what are you doing? Why? So it makes you think. It's confusing. It's confusing stuff, because if you're not into that, then scram, you wouldn't be watching it, but you're here though, so it's weird. It makes you understand the space that a certain people could be in, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we're, you know what I'm saying? That's secret competition energy. That's where confusion comes from. It's secret competition energy, where you're trying to put yourself in another person's perspective and trying to understand and trying to compare and We're not the same people. Went through different things and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And even if so, you know something, why are you going out of your way to even try to bring anything about? What do I have to do with anything with you when it comes to actual real life? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, now if I want to get a little more specific in terms of this channel, yeah, it's completely burnt out. This past year has been absolutely awful, yeah. But at this point, that's not the fight. It's just me, and I don't mind that. Like I said before, I still got to touch base on things I'm just right now seeing. Channels making videos on me and stuff like that I just saw, and I'm like, wow, okay. It's whatever though, I don't mind it. It's what comes with it. You need you know what I'm saying? No biggie or whatever. You know, especially depending on like what it is you're talking about and stuff like that. But no, I mean, there's definitely been, I think like, that's what's tricky about being on here too, is that people make their peripherals and their biases and all their judgments based on previous videos that were probably made 5 months ago and 6 months ago, and someone's life can flip the script and you don't, you know, and so that's the content creator's fault. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not sitting here and even getting upset about anything, you know what I'm saying? Especially if for some reason I'm still here putting myself up here. And the main reason is because you can clearly see that no one would just get up here and speak on all the previous stuff that they've spoken on before. So when I see trolls, someone who just made an account right now, going out of their way to just say a bunch of nonsense that doesn't mean anything anyway, I'm just looking at, well, why are you doing that? And then it's easy to point out who and what type of person you are. You can basically see who the person is at this point. So why are you going to give even anything to that? You know what I'm saying? But you see that. So that's the main fight. The main fight is seeing that literally people just don't want you expressing yourself on the internet because it shows that you have something that they don't, because they keep on pointing out all this external materialistic shit. Throwing a rock, hiding their hand type stuff is what is going on basically. So when I see you doing that, I can clearly see you're upset and you don't want someone up here expressing themselves. I'm just going to keep doing it. I'm just going to keep being up here. So you know what I'm saying? Because you don't understand. My starting point, a lot of content creators' starting point wasn't to be up here to just look a certain way. No, we had to actually get certain things done. So we're in a whole different mind space than you. Someone who's going out of your way to, I don't know, to troll, yo. It's weird, but you know what I'm saying? I don't care about that type of stuff though. That's the thing. It's easy to point it out and just talk about it. So yeah, for those of you who can see eye to eye with this, yeah, we're living in the most confusing time right now. Don't get caught up in illusions with the views. It's tricky right now, and this isn't something I want to even talk about. This isn't what I plan to talk about. It is what it is. It's what I'm noticing. It's tricky. It's weird. It's different. The podcast era is kind of over. The expressing yourself and trying to teach era is over. You know what I'm saying? So these snarky comments that people are leaving on my thing is because you're looking at something a certain way and you think that I'm over here trying to show you something or try to act like I'm better, but you're just upset because of the way someone looks and the way it's coming across to you. I can't help the way I look. This is the way I look. If you don't like the way I look, then don't be on my shit leaving some random comment and you made a channel right now to leave that. Come on, yo, you ain't tricky. It just shows who you are. Already know who you are. Already been there and done that. So we're living in confusing times, yo. And the reason I gotta keep going in on this is because you're gonna see people not give you credit but copy you. And that's why it's important to keep standing your ground and to keep making videos even if you notice weirdo things going on. And I gotta be 100 with you, because when I see that, and when I see like little indirect things about your personal life that they're attacking on the internet has nothing to do with what you really said, or even though it might, even if it has things to do with family and friends, like the last bit I made. You gotta look at, well, why does someone say that? You know what I'm saying? And all that does is prove me correct. So I don't know, yo, but I wouldn't want to be a person who does that. I'd rather do this, though. I'd rather get hated on, I'd rather get trolled than to be the troll, than to be someone who knows that they're not something, even if they're getting some sort of weirdo benefit out of it, yo. So we're living in confusing times, yo.